Hello and welcome to Bulwell TV. As we all lead increasingly busy lives, drive around in our cars or with our eyes transfixed to our mobile phones, we pay less and less attention to our surroundings and the objects that are often hidden in plain sight. What you'll often find if you look around are the reminders of Bulwell's past. The purpose of this video is to point out some of the sites you may not be aware of, and maybe for a short while you'll look up and see the history that surrounds you, not only in Bulwell but in other towns as well. As you walk around the town centre, you would have to look up to see the following. These are the dates of construction of older buildings which look across the marketplace. Not all buildings have them, but these, pictured, give an approximate age to the town itself. They all come from just before the end of the 19th century. In the cases with the initials below the date, this would generally refer to the architect of a building. Although this was mentioned in one of my earlier videos, it's worthwhile just pointing out this carving in the stone bridge over the River Leen. This shows the date the bridge was constructed and the name of the engineer who designed it, George Holmes, in the year 1837. You'll only see this if you're deliberately looking for it and standing on the right side of the bridge. The bridge itself has now stood for 180 years and should comfortably stand for 180 years more, with further generations of Bulwell kids fishing underneath its arches. As you walk down Bulwell Main Street from the marketplace towards the William Peveril, you will see this old, faded, painted sign, half complete and hidden by trees. This used to be the site of the Bulwell off licence. The sign is advertising Offiler's Gold Medal Ale. Have you tried it? Offiler's was a Derby brewery based in Burton-upon-Trent, which brewed beer and owned pubs in and around Derby. In 1965, the brewery was closed and the brand lost. Offiler's Best Bitter was one of their core beers sold throughout their estate. This light, amber-coloured, smooth-drinking Best Bitter has a medium to mild bitterness and biscuit notes. I'm afraid I can't tell you how old the sign is, but I can show you this picture, which if you look very, very closely and squint, will show the same sign in the same place, taken some time as far back as the 1950s. What I can tell you though, is this particular sign is well sheltered from the sun and the rain, and no doubt will still be visible in another 20 years' time. There's a very good chance you will have passed this row of shops on Highbury Vale, opposite Laxton Avenue. If you've never looked up, you won't have seen the effigies of these four gentlemen. Who they are is still disputed, let alone what they represent. Three of the figures I believe are fairly easy to identify. Composer Ludwig van Beethoven, Jesus Christ, and writer William Shakespeare. The fourth is a little more tricky. I originally suspected it to be Isaac Newton. However, it's been suggested to me it could be composer Friedrich Handel. Research on the internet provides nothing that links any of the five gentlemen except for this very, very remote possibility. Beethoven once called Handel the greatest composer that ever lived. King George III called Handel the Shakespeare of music. Handel composed the Messiah. Beethoven, Handel, Jesus, and Shakespeare. If anyone else has any idea how they could be linked, then please let me know. The Bulwell Dovecote is known by many people in Bulwell, but the chances are they walk past it every day when they go under the flyover and never give it a second thought. It wasn't so long ago, as you can see from the photographs, that the Dovecote was in such a poor state of repair it was potentially likely to collapse at some stage in the future without some investment and care. Well, it's been well restored, however it's still an out-of-way hidden area and is often prone to vandalism. There's been talk over recent years about moving it somewhere brick by brick and putting it in the public view somewhere on Leenside. However, so far, this has been nothing but talk. I'm sure you can all remember the Bulwell Viaduct, or will have seen photos of it towering over Hucknall Lane. I'm sure you'll have also seen the photos as well from the early 1980s, where the last pieces of it were finally demolished and Bulwell lost a fantastic landmark. Although totally demolished. Next to a bus stop behind Ken Martin's baths remains one small wall section, standing out because of a different coloured brickwork. It at least shows a small part of the viaduct and its direction of travel. I am sure there are many more interesting things that are hidden in plain sight in Bulwell. If you can think of any more, please drop me a line and maybe there'll be a second instalment to this video. Until then, thank you very much.